Namaste Bitya, myself JVN Neha Saini from Physiotherapy and Diagnostics, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Here I am going to tell you about the anatomy of the nose and the paranasal sinus. The nose consists of external nose and the nasal cavity. Both are divided by septum into right and the left halves. The external nose has two elliptical orifices known as nares or external nares, which are separated from each other by the nasal septum. The lateral margin is known as ala nasi, which is rounded and mobile. So here we can see the different parts of the nose, that is the root, bridge, dorsum nasi, nasofacial angle, apex, ala nasi, and the alar nasal sulcus. These are clearly depicted in this image. Then we come to the external nose. The framework of the external nose is made up of the nasal bones above and the frontal processes of the maxilla and the nasal part of the frontal bone. So here we can see in the image, this is the nasal bone and this is the frontal process of the this is the maxillary process or the nasal process of the frontal bone, and this is the frontal process of the maxilla, which are forming the external nose. Then below, the framework is formed by the hyaline cartilages. Now the name of the hyaline cartilages which are forming the framework of the nose, these are lateral cartilage, septal cartilage in the midline, lesser alar cartilage in the ala, greater alar cartilages, and some deep connective tissues. The blood supply of the external nose is by the branches of ophthalmic and maxillary arteries. The skin of the ala and the lower part of the septum, these are supplied by the branches of facial artery. Then the nerve supply is by the infratrochlear and the infraorbital branch. Infratrochlear branch is a branch of ophthalmic nerve, and the infraorbital branch is the branch of the maxillary nerve. Then the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity has the floor, roof, lateral wall, medial wall. Medial wall is also the septum, nasal septum. The nasal cavity has the four walls. The floor is formed by the palatine process of the maxilla. Here we can see the floor. In this image, this cuboidal shape structure is the nasal cavity, and this is the floor. And here is the roof. Then it is the lateral wall, and towards the midline we have the medial wall. So this is the floor. In the floor we can see the palatine process of the maxilla, which is in purple color. This is the palatine process of the maxilla, and the horizontal plate of the palatine bone in the posterior side. So these are forming the floor of the nasal cavity. Then the roof. The roof is formed by the body of the sphenoid bone. So this is the sphenoid bone, and this is the cribriform plate of the ethmoid, and this is the frontal bone. Also the nasal bone and the cartilages, these are forming the roof of the nasal cavity. Then the medial wall of the nasal cavity. In the medial wall is the nasal septum. So these bones are forming the nasal septum in the midline, which is dividing the nasal cavity into two halves, the right and the left. It has osseous part, which is made up of the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid and the vomer. So these are the bony parts which are forming the medial wall, and this is the septal cartilage, which is the cartilaginous part of the medial wall. So here we can see the nasal septum, two bones, the vomer and the ethmoid bone, and the cartilage is the septal cartilage. Now we come to the lateral wall of the nasal cavity. The lateral wall of the nasal cavity possesses three elevations, three projections, which are known as concha. Superiorly we have superior concha, then middle, and this is the inferior nasal concha. The space beneath them is known as meatus. So here we can see the three concha, superior, middle and inferior, and the spaces beneath them is known as meatus. In the meatus we have openings or some structures, like in the inferior meatus we have the opening of nasolacrimal duct. So this is the nasolacrimal duct opening. In the middle meatus, we have the opening for maxillary sinus, frontal sinus, anterior ethmoid sinus. Then in the superior meatus, we have the opening of posterior ethmoid sinus and the sphenoethmoidal recess. Sphenoethmoidal recess is the superior most. Over here it lies, and it is having the opening of sphenoidal air sinus. Sphenoidal air sinus is the sinus in the sphenoid bone. This is the sphenoid air sinus. So this opens in the supreme meatus, that is sphenoethmoidal recess. So these openings are depicted in this diagram. So we can see the opening of nasolacrimal duct in the inferior meatus and the openings of maxillary, frontal and anterior ethmoidal air sinus in the middle meatus. And in the superior meatus, we have the opening of middle ethmoidal air sinus. And the supreme meatus, that is sphenoethmoidal recess, we have the opening of sphenoidal air sinus. Now the blood supply of the nasal cavity are from the branches of the maxillary artery. The most important branch, the sphenoethmoidal artery, and the sphenopalatine artery. This sphenopalatine artery anastomoses with the septal branch of the superior labial branch of the facial artery in the region of vestibule, and the submucous venous plexus is drained by the veins that accompany the arteries. So here we can see the blood supply of the nasal cavity, where anterior and the posterior ethmoidal arteries, sphenopalatine artery, are supplying. Then there is an area known as Little's area, which is the communication point of the superior labial artery and sphenopalatine, anterior and the posterior ethmoidal arteries. Then the nerve supply of the nasal cavity. The olfactory nerves of the olfactory mucous membrane ascend through the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone to the olfactory bulbs. The nerves of ordinary sensation are the branches of ophthalmic, maxillary, branches of trigeminal nerve. So these branches supply the nasal cavity. Here we can see the posterior nasal branches of maxillary, olfactory nerves, anterior ethmoidal branch, and nasopalatine branch of maxillary nerve. These are supplying to the nasal cavity. Now the lymphatic drainage of the nasal cavity. The lymph vessels draining the vestibular end into the submandibular nodes, and the remainder of the nasal cavity is drained by the vessels that pass to the upper deep cervical nodes. Now the clinical anatomy. Over here we can have the nose bleeding. This nose bleeding is known as epistaxis. It is because of the injury to the Little's area, where we have seen the communication point of the arteries in the anterior inferior part of the nasal septum. Then the second is rhinoscope. This is the instrument which is used for the examination of the nasal cavity to see the interior of the nasal cavity, rhinoscope, and the procedure is known as rhinoscopy. Then come to the subtopic of this class is the paranasal sinus. The paranasal sinuses, these are the cavities which are found in the interior of the maxilla, frontal bone, sphenoid and ethmoid bones. These are lined with mucoperiosteum and filled with air. They communicate with nasal cavity through relatively small apertures. So drainage of mucus and the function of paranasal sinuses are: the mucus produced by the mucous membrane is moved into the nose by ciliary action of the cellular columnar cells. The functions of these sinuses are: these are acting as resonators of the voice. They also reduce the weight of the skull, and they keep the air which is entering into the nasal cavity warm and moisture. Now the first sinus of the paranasal sinus is the maxillary sinus. It's the largest sinus and it is pyramidal in shape. It is paired and symmetric. It is located in the body of maxilla behind the skin of the cheek. The roof is formed by the floor of the orbit, and the floor is related to the roots of second premolar and first molar tooth. The maxillary sinus opens into the middle meatus, as we have seen in the previous slides the opening of the maxillary sinus. Then the frontal sinus. It is rarely symmetrical, contained within the frontal bone. It is separated from each other by bony septum, and each sinus is roughly triangular. It is extending upward above the medial end of the eyebrow and backward to the medial part of the roof of orbit. It opens into the middle meatus. And this is the sphenoid sinus. It is highlighted with pink color. This is the sinus which is located in the sphenoid bone. It is below the sala turcica. Sala turcica is what? It is this depressed area in the sphenoid bone. It extends between the dorsum celli and the posterior clinoid process. This is the boundaries of the sala turcica. It opens into the sphenoethmoidal recess above the superior concha. Then we have ethmoid sinus, these green colored small sinuses. These are the ethmoid sinuses. These are grouped in anterior, middle and posterior sinuses, and these are contained within the ethmoid bone between the nose and the orbit. Anterior and the middle ethmoid sinuses drains into the middle nasal septum, middle nasal meatus, and the posterior ethmoidal sinus drains into superior nasal meatus. These are separated from the orbit by a thin plate of bone so that infection can easily spread from sinuses to the orbit. Then this is the method for the sinus drainage. Here we can see the different openings of the sinuses in the meatus, which we have discussed earlier. Now the clinical notes. First is sinusitis. It is the inflammation of the sinuses, which is common in cold, and this is known as sinusitis. Then the skull fractures. It is caused by a severe blow on the headgear, which is not worn. Signs and symptoms include the bleed or CSF draining from the ear or nose. There is a battle sign and raccoon eye sign, which we have discussed in the images. The battle sign is the first image and the raccoon eyes is the lower image. Then we have sinoscopy. It is the endoscopic examination of the maxillary sinus with the help of fiber optic sinoscope. This procedure is known as sinoscopy. So this completes our topic, the nose and the paranasal sinuses. Thank you. Now the questions for nasal cavity is, discuss about the nasal cavity under the following headings. So first is the boundaries. So we have recently covered about the theory of nasal cavity. In these we discovered the boundaries of the nasal cavity, in which we have the roof, floor, the medial wall and the lateral wall. So in this point in the boundaries, we have to mention all these boundaries, that is floor, roof, medial wall, lateral wall in the nasal cavity, and then we will give some applied aspects. Minimum 2 applied aspects are necessary for this question, and we draw the diagram of nasal cavity also. Then this is the exercise for your file. You have to draw this kind of diagram in your files and label all the unlabeled structures over here. This is for your exercise and file work. Thank you.